4 weeks is enough, or whether they were pushing for a bit longer. And the other thing I'd like to ask quickly is the Premier League matches, are they still going to be played throughout this period?
I can say yes to the Premier League. I think with authority, David, on the is the period up to 2nd of December going to be enough? I hope so. We have every reason to believe it will be, but we will be driven by the science, and we will look at where we've got to. I'm optimistic because as I said a couple of weeks ago, and I said again tonight, the R, although it's above 1, is not that much above 1. I think looking at one of the slides that Patrick showed us earlier, it has been coming down. The trouble is, that still means the disease is doubling. If we can get it below 1, then, as you know, it starts halving, and that's where we want to get. And we think this package will do that, but we will be led by the evidence.
I think the key is getting the R really below 1 during this 4 weeks. So if we all do what we're supposed to do during this, the R will come down. If we can get the R well below 1, it starts to halve, and we end up in a much better position. But I don't think it's a situation where we just say, well, everything's back to normal again, and there's going to have to still be some restrictions over the winter until the new measures come in spring and the new things come along. But 4 weeks with a really good reduction of R would make a big difference.
And just on the period coming up to, as it were, to December the 2nd, we will be looking very carefully at what's happening in the tiered areas and working out exactly which tier would be most appropriate as we come out of these tougher autumn measures. Let's go to Harriet Lyon of the Press Association.
Thank you, Prime Minister. What is your message to leaders in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland? Do you want them to follow your lead and introduce the same measures? And if not, are you considering restrictions on travel between the 4 nations? And to the scientists, why are you confident that you won't need formal shielding this time around? And is there also a danger that hospitals could still be overwhelmed despite these new restrictions?
Well, thanks very much, Harriet. First of all, on the devolved administrations, the situation now is that there's quite a large degree of congruence between the whole of the UK, in the sense that Northern Ireland and Wales have very similar arrangements already to the ones we're announcing tonight. And Scotland, as you know, has its 5-tier system, which it also involves some pretty stringent measures to deal with fundamentally the same problem that we have across the whole of the UK, which actually we're dealing with in pretty much the same way. And as you know, every day there are constant discussions between the 4 CMOs, and certainly at a political level, constant conversations about how we're fighting this together.
Yeah, and just to reinforce that the 4 CMOs talk together very regularly to try and make sure that the science and the thinking is as aligned as possible. In terms of shielding, which is your question specifically to us, we're not suggesting that people who previously were on the shielding list, the just over 2 million people who are on the shielding list,